Our next guest is here to update us on the La Mesa market. Let's welcome the broker of new Leaf Realty, John Lieber.
There he is, the golfer, John Lieber.
Here I am.
What's up, man?
Thank you.
How you doing? Good to see you.
You too.
So people will know you as the golfer because they're going to see you on Win This Listing. Our next upcoming episode is the one in La Mesa, which you participated in. Now, for those of you out there who haven't seen John on the show before, be careful if you're playing pickup games on the golf course with this guy. This is what his backyard looks like. Show us the picture of what his backyard looks like. That's his backyard. You don't play skins against the guy who has that in his backyard. Well, John, I did do something today before we get into La Mesa and the La Mesa Real Estate Market. I did bring a 5-iron in today.
Okay.
Because I'm hoping you can help me fix a little slicing problem that I've got going on. So can you do that for me today before we finish the segment up?
Well, yeah, it looks like you got some marks on the hosel there too, so we might have to talk about that also, but yeah, I can help you out.
El Jose? Yes, the laterals, that's been happening too. So I'll just borrow you for a couple minutes. We'll do that here in a second.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Best golfer I know right here, so we call him the golfer, John Lieber. Also, fantastic real estate agent in the Mesa area. Your office is in La Mesa. La Mesa is one of those places. My daughter was born there. It's a very soft spot for me. Right on 3rd Street is where we lived at that time, close to what was then Henry's, which is now Sprouts. But this is a market that's been really, really hot. It went through a period of sort of question marks when they were doing all of the renovations there in the downtown area. Now that's pretty much done now, isn't it? It's
all done. You know, it's interesting because you think back. I've heard business owners, you know, being a part of that community, and my office is right on La Mesa Boulevard. You hear things from business owners that are, you know, a generation older than me, and you hear them talking about how bad La Mesa used to be and how bad the Village area used to be. And I think, you know, it was just, I think, had nowhere near the quality of restaurant, shops, and everything else that they do now. So my whole experience has been pretty good with it. I've seen it grow a lot since I've been in the business, but I never knew it, you know, maybe how it used to be when, you know, when people didn't want to go there.
Well, if you want to check desirability, one of the nice things about understanding the real estate market is that will tell you exactly how desirable a place is, because, you know, areas become desirable and then prices go up. I mean, that's what happens. So, you know, when a place is undesirable, people are leaving, prices go down.
Yeah.
So how does that look in La Mesa?
So over the last, say, 4 or 5 years, I mean, the one thing to note that is just off the charts to me is how low the inventory is there. We hear it all the time, and we know San Diego's experiencing low inventory, as is the rest of the country. But if you look at La Mesa right now, okay, throughout the last probably 7 or 8 years that I've been tracking La Mesa in the 91941 zip code, we always have between 80 and 115, 120 homes for sale. Always. I mean, it never really dips below that. Right now we've got 40 that are active for sale.
40
homes.
In all of 91941.
In all of 91941, which extends pretty far west, a lot further east, over to Mount Helix. I mean, it's a big area. There's a lot of homes.
So what does that mean? I mean, does that mean, obviously the market's hot?
Well, and there's 42 that are in pending status, so they've got an accepted offer. So you can extrapolate those numbers and just look at, okay, we've got 40 homes for sale, there's 42 pending. We're not able to keep up with the demand that there is in La Mesa, and that's less than a 1-month supply of homes.
So if sellers just took a month off, didn't put any new homes on the market for a month,
they'd be gone.
There'd literally be no homes for sale.
They'd be close to gone. You know, you'd probably still have the couple that might be overpriced or weren't as desirable or whatever it was, but in theory, yeah, if no one else listed over the next 30 days, you wouldn't have anything for sale.
How crazy would that be? And is that possible? I mean, you know, it seems that that's where we're headed. I mean, the inventory just keeps going like this.
Yeah.
I mean, is that a dream situation for home sellers, basically?
For sellers, God, I mean, you'd have to think yes. I mean, you know, of course it is. And I think that's what's really keeping our prices as high as they are, and they're continuing to trend up even when interest rates have gone up some and there's still some uncertainty in the market. It's like the inventory is so low and we can't keep up with the demand fast enough that, you know, it's in the foreseeable future, it's got to keep going up. I mean, it's a supply and demand equation, and you look at that and there's no way you're not going to have twice as many people listing their homes over the next couple months. It's just, that's where we are, and we can't.
If they did, do you think the market could absorb it? In other words,
No question.
it would.
Yeah, because you figure out of those X number of homes, you've got some overpriced, some that aren't as desirable, some that are priced right that sell quickly. So, you'd end up with a pool of each of those categories, and so the good ones and the ones that are priced well are of course going to get absorbed faster. So I don't think there's any question. A couple of the areas that I was going to look at that I really like are, one, right in the La Mesa Village, which is a fantastic area and where I happen to live and have my office, and I love it there. And if you draw your map around that area, I think we've got 3 homes for sale in a pretty big area. And the other little community is called Porter Hill, which it's still walking distance to the village, but it's actually 91942 zip code. I took a look at what was for sale there, and we don't have anything for sale there right now.
Nothing.
So, you could start a search and hope that something pops up, but
as a home seller, I'm just thinking, I'm not trying to be greedy. I'm just saying, if I own a home, I'm in La Mesa, and I'm hearing this, I'm thinking, okay,
yeah,
what's going on here? Because if I own a house in Porter Hill, for example,
mm-hmm.
If I list it, you're telling me I'm the only one, I'm the only game in town.
Yeah, that's it. You're the guy. It's kind of, if people are familiar with Burlingame, it's this community kind of on the north end of South Park, kind of right in the dividing line between North Park and South Park, and it's just a few streets. And it's so desirable that people will, wait for a home to come up on one of these 3 streets that are considered Burlingame, and you've got these little 1,400 square foot homes that sell for $1.1 million because people want to be in this historic district, and it's so small and such a perfect little community right there that people love it. And I don't think we're going to get there that quickly, but I think the more you've got restaurants and businesses coming into La Mesa, and the more it turns into something like this community where, for younger people, everyone wants walkability, and the more it transforms into that, the more you get kind of younger professionals moving there, and the more you see some of the historic houses that still need to be fixed up. I think you'll see those get renovated over the next 5-10 years, and I see that area as being the hidden gem that's just going to keep getting better and better.
The next Burlingame?
Could be.
Could be.
But I would say more like a South Park or North. I mean, Burlingame is so small, but if you look at South Park or North Park, some of those areas, that's what I would equate La Mesa to in the East County. I think it's got that same character and charm, and I think the thing that's leading all this is all these big time restaurant owners and businesses coming in.
Gotcha. Makes sense to me. And so what you're telling me is the market has not peaked.
No.
It is still on fire, and you expect that to continue.
Yeah, I think you just look at those numbers, and you look at prices relative to the rest of the county, and if your options are North County or Coastal or Poway, Scripps Ranch, those areas, our prices are still on the lower end of all those. So I think it's got a lot of room to go up, and the more people from those areas that kind of discover this area, especially the North Park, South Park crowd, I think they'll continue to drive prices up for us, along with that low inventory.
Oh, absolutely. As long as you continue to see prices in Santee and the further out places like Poway, continue to go higher, you go, wait a minute, La Mesa's closer to downtown, closer to the beaches, closer to everything that you want, Central Mission Valley shopping, all that stuff. So great stuff. Well, it sounds like La Mesa is hitting it right down the fairway, a problem that I have.
You have? None of us have that problem.
We're at the 5-iron in here today, Johnny, so you can hopefully help me fix my slice.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Sure.
All right, let's jump to it.
You said you struggle with a slice, right?
In that way. Yeah.
So, what I would say is the biggest, the fundamental issues that cause a slice are the fact that the club is coming from the outside swing path.
Okay.
And so one of the things I always used to get myself into a lot of trouble hitting the ball crooked when I was playing golf, especially growing up. So I learned how to get it out of the trees and curve it, fade it and hook it around trees. So kind of the fundamental thing that you want to think of is, okay, in theory, if you're set up dead square, the ball should go straight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to make the ball curve in one direction or the other, if let me take so
Sure.
if the target is straight that way, okay, I'm going to set my club face and it's going to be pointed directly at the target.
Okay.
If I want the ball to slice, I'm going to aim my feet to the left, and in theory, your swing is going to be along the line of your feet. So if your feet are aimed left, the ball should start on the line of your feet and curve into the target.
Gotcha.
Going the other way with it, if you keep the face aimed at the target and you turn your feet the other way and you swing along the line of your feet and your body lines, the ball should start along those lines and hook into the target. So a lot of the problem with people slicing the ball is they end up getting set up more and more out of alignment and trying to swing along those lines, and the ball ends up slicing because of it. So I think fundamentally the best way to start is, okay, make sure that you're aiming the face of the target and aiming your feet and shoulders at the target as well. And you can counteract so many of those problems that creep in just by getting the basics down and getting the basics lines of your body lined up properly.
Check the alignment.
Yeah.
Make sure the feet.
That's the first thing to get out of balance is you start to see a slice, and some people will start to aim more and more to the left
Just making it
because
worse.
they know it's going to slice. So all of a sudden your face is still aimed straight. Your feet lines and your shoulder lines are aimed left, and you're swinging along those lines.
Let's take a look. If I just, I can kind of see that there, I think. If we're looking at straight.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
what's,
probably a little
okay, so you
open,
start
so-
hitting the ball right, the natural
So-
tendency is to start aiming more left. And the
So
more you
close
do
it.
that,
Close it a
close
tad.
it down a little bit.
Close it just a tad. Take the normal swing. That should cause the path to go a little more inside out.
Yeah.
And it should straighten it up a little bit.
And you could even, experiment with going the other way with it, start to get your feet aimed a little bit to the right, and all of a sudden your natural tendency is going to be to swing along the lines of your body, feet, and everything else, and the ball will start to go right off the club and then draw back at the end.
Well, if it could only happen like that.
Oh, it can, though.
John, appreciate your time, man.
Thank you very much.
Great stuff. We'll see if that
Thanks.
straightens me out. And hey, stick around for more Smarter San Diego TV, where we guarantee to make you smarter than everyone else. Commercial free.